Meghan Markle has once again revealed a pattern of behaviour that suggests loyalty is a convenience she uses, and when it suits her, discards without apparent remorse. The latest supposed rupture with her once trusted makeup artist and friend Daniel Martin over an alleged breach of trust is not simply a personal spat, it is a revealing sign of how Meghan manages relationships when the optics shift. First, the fundamental irony: someone who built a public persona around empowerment, authenticity, and holding your own appears to treat people like consultants, not confidants. Daniel Martin, who has worked closely with Meghan and was featured in her Netflix project, is now reportedly cast off, ghosted in plain sight. That Meghan frames his removal as a matter of trust elevates a mundane contract matter into a drama about betrayal, and in doing so shifts the blame entirely away from herself, classic deflection. If we accept that Meghan genuinely felt betrayed by Martin, then two things follow: either she misjudged a collaborator to begin with, or she tolerated behaviour until it no longer served her. Neither option reflects well on someone who claims to value relationships. But what's far more telling is the ease with which she apparently severed ties. If you're the friend turned vendor, you should beware. Once the illumination of association loses value, Meghan moves on, quietly, but decisively. And what of the overriding lesson here? Meghan expects absolute fidelity when you're useful, but when you attempt to assert independence, or do anything that doesn't perfectly align with her framing, you're dispensable. Martin's recent collaboration with an eco-candle brand, for example, which he tells is proceeding despite not telling Meghan about it, suggests he was acting on his own after years of piggybacking on her exposure. Maybe that was what tipped the scale for Meghan, the moment the friend stops being wholly available for her constitution. What does this say about Meghan Markle, the public figure? It suggests that her brand of empowerment is somewhat hollow when applied internally. It's one thing to speak about uplifting your circle, about standing for better relationships and trust. It's quite another to practice it when the stakes are reversed. She may demand transparency, loyalty, and a certain self-erasure among those around her, but does she extend those virtues to them in turn? Evidence suggests not. In the end, this is an act of containment. Meghan recruits allies until they serve as props in her narrative: visibility, inside access, alignment. But once the dynamic turns, once the ally tries to operate independently or attract attention of their own, the triangle closes. We are witnessing a relational divorce staged not in tabloids but in backstage maneuverings. Friend becomes contractor, contractor becomes collateral. The breach of trust rhetoric is dubious too. When you're working for someone of Meghan's scale and visibility, you sign up for more than chemistry and friendship, you sign up to defer your output to her narrative. If your ambition begins to subtract from her narrative, you become expendable, and she wraps that as a betrayal on your part. The power imbalance is clear: she holds the megaphone, the narrative, the PR machine. He holds the tools, and apparently now the baggage. For all her talk of being the outsider, the one breaking royal mold, Meghan evidently plays the same old game of selective alliances and sudden dismissals. That she can claim moral high ground while treating her inner circle as transient undermines the authenticity she purports to champion. If you dismiss people with the ease of changing stylists, then you propagate a cynical trait: loyalty only when convenient, permanence only when profitable. Mark my words, others around her will be watching. Not everyone enjoys being the former friend headline or the footnote in the brand story. For Meghan Markle, the danger is that you soon develop the impression that she's less about relationships and more about transactions. And as the burn book of ghosted associates expands, the veneer of real connection wears thin. In summary, Meghan Markle's handling of the Daniel Martin episode is less about makeup and more about power. She might claim the moral high ground, but this latest move reveals someone who expects her loyal circle to remain loyal until the moment they don't, and then treats them as disposable. If you value trust, consistency, and genuine mutual respect rather than just the photo ops, you'll find her brand wanting.